Hi, welcome. I just wanted to talk about a quick feature in Deep Rising, the current version, version 2.5, 2.45. So 2.5.2. So while fluid meshes don't have motion blur, which we're working on for the next version, of course. But I don't think I've mentioned this. The particle data actually has motion blur. I mean, has velocity data. So that means if you use instances, you'll be able to get motion blur for the particle. So this would be useful for things like for the granular solver, for example. So that has motion blur technically. And if you just want to instance for the fluids, for the particles as well, you will automatically get that motion blur, and I'll show you how to do that. It might not be immediately obvious, so I'm just going to just start off with a quick empty scene. I will put a rigid object into the scene, an emitter. I won't use grains for this. I just want anything that spits out velocity data, essentially, will be enough. Okay, so make it smaller. And then move in. I'll just simulate that. And we get some particles hitting the surface. We don't need anything complicated, so I'll just abort there. Okay, so first things first, you need to attach a particle system to the cache. So click the symbol, the lightning symbol, go to fluid cache and click attach. Okay, and then go to properties. Don't forget the symbol should be selected. Add instance generator, but you also need some geometry for the instance. So I've just got 1 second. Here, like a sphere of some sort. Okay, just a simple sphere like that, and I'm gonna scale this down to okay. Like that. And just make sure it's on frame 1. Okay. Go to properties. I'm just gonna add a sphere ball. Particles. Make sure you do solid. Do that. So I'm just gonna split the view so I can position the camera properly so you can see this easily. So okay, just moving a bit up, and just make sure it's in frame 1. And there. So just go to VPR, I guess. To make this clearer, I will switch off the backdrop. Just like that. Okay. So 1 second. Go to cameras. And switch on motion blur. So it should automatically pick it up. You don't need particle motion blur, but what you see is that everything disappears. That's because the motion blur is too high. So you need a very low value for this to work, depending on the velocities. So I'm just going to drop this to 0.004. So that's roughly the size of the particles, surprisingly, but it's not related to that. There's no connection between, that's just the speed of the actual particles. I can drop this again actually to 2 to get something subtler. So yeah, it'll work as long as there's velocity data there, which is Cool. So yeah, while motion blur should be coming to the next version for fluid meshes, so after you mesh them, of course, you can actually get motion blur right now for instances and the particle information. That data is actually being applied into your particles, which is cool. Okay, yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, so that was just a quick tip for people who've got the current version of Deep Rising FX. Okay.